Welcome to the Want to Learn podcast. I'm your host, Francis Tapon. I'm here with Lily, who is a black lab, overlooking the operations, making sure I don't say any things that are incorrect. So we're going to talk about an important milestone that we just passed today. And that milestone is the number of COVID deaths worldwide. 650,000 deaths worldwide. Yeah, that's what we just passed today. It's an important number. The reason it's important is the following. According to the World Health Organization, or is it the CDC, one of those two, I can't remember, they estimate that the influenza kills, on a good year, 290,000, so almost 300,000 people. That's like a really low flu season. And on a really bad flu season, kills, that number that we just saw, 650,000. So this is the annual death toll worldwide of influenza that we put up with year after year after year. This is bad news, but it's something that we're kind of, quote unquote, accustomed to. We're kind of used to dealing with this much carnage. And so you compare it with this number, both a bad flu season and COVID killed about the same amount of people in a similar amount of time, because the flu season doesn't last for 12 months. It actually lasts for about 6, 7, 8 months, which is how long COVID's taken to kill this many people. Now, of course, we're comparing apples to oranges here, because during the flu season, we don't shelter in place, we don't wear masks, we don't do any big precautions, and yet in COVID, we're doing all that effort and we're ending up with as many deaths as a bad flu year. So obviously it shows you the mortality of COVID. But I want to just put that into perspective to help cheer up people, because boy, on social media, people are just so down and negative all the time about every single issue under the sun. And I guess I'm just a happy guy. I just try to look at the glass half full. So let's look at some more deaths to feel better about ourselves, okay? How about that? This is, according to the World Health Organization, the top 10 causes of death. 3 of the top 10 causes of death are communicable diseases. And every year after year, we lose 5.5 million people to communicable diseases. Things like tuberculosis, things like respiratory infections, that kind of stuff. Other types of communicable diseases, things that are transferred by touching, breath, air, etc. Now, if you put COVID's 650,000 deaths to this graph of 5.5 million, that's more or less how it looks like. You're going to get that little red thing, which is 0.65 million. 0.65 million to the 5.5 million. So based on that way of looking at things, as bad as COVID is, and it is bad, it's not that horrendous compared to what we put up year after year worldwide. It adds about 15% more deaths than we have in a typical normal year due to communicable diseases. So how does it compare to the 1918 flu? 1918 saw half a billion people die 100 years ago. 500 million people died from the 1918 flu, or sometimes called the Spanish flu. Compare that to COVID-19, 0.65. So 500 versus 0.65. You're talking about almost 1,000-fold difference on that metric. Again, just trying to help people keep a little bit of perspective on this virus. People make it sound like, oh, this has never been so bad before. This has been the worst ever. Compared to humanity's history, well, we've seen a lot worse when it comes to viruses. The death rate of the Bubonic Plague and the Black Death, 30 to 60% of the people died from it. 3 out of 10 or up to 6 out of 10 people died from it. Nearly half of Europe was just wiped out from that Bubonic Plague. Compare that to COVID, which is roughly, we can all debate about it, but it's roughly 1%. So again, the death rate is not that tremendous and outrageous. By the way, speaking about the Bubonic Plague, Ebola was also as high as the Bubonic Plague as far as death rate is concerned. And those are just two of the examples in histories, but there have been many, 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 many others. By the way, HIV has also killed tens of millions of people. That's another virus that we've had to deal with in our lifetimes. I'm sending you this message just to give you a little bit of perspective so that you don't jump out of a window. I want you guys all safe and don't think that, the world is coming apart. We're going to make it through this, guys. It's tough. I'm sorry if you've lost loved ones to this or gotten sick because of it or whatever. But the influenza is something that has impacted us, has long-term effects on us after we survive it for some people who get a very serious case, and we pull through. So cheer up out there, Internet. It's not the end of the world, okay? We're tough. We're human beings. We've put up with lots of things. We can do great this time again. Right, Lily? What do you think, Lily? You can do it? Are we going to survive this COVID? Huh? What do you think? Huh? Yeah? Yeah? I think she thinks we're going to survive. Yeah.